Greetings, stargazers. This is Star Hustler, and we're going to be looking at the night sky again from the RV. Welcome to part 2 of Traveling Robert. This time he's going to tell you more stories of the road and possible alien contact. So make sure that you tune in to Traveling Robert part 2 and keep looking up.
Hello?
Hi, Robert. Cosmic Layla here from the CLCI webzine. Are you up for the part 2 interview?
Hi, Cosmic Layla. Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. Can you do the Traveling Robert good morning intro for us real quick?
Good morning.
Okay. All right, that's the real McCoy. When did you first... Okay. When did you first meet your wife and travel partner, Ileana?
Oh, we met in high school. That must have been late 1989. And the professor, actually, I didn't speak much English, and the professor actually told her to help me out with we were reading some Charles Dickens or something like that, and that's how we met at the library.
Oh, wow. So you met in the library. Were you like looking for the same book, or how did that go?
Well, no, she was going to help me out with this book report or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I had just pretty much arrived to this country at that point. I had been here for a year, but they switched me from the ESOL classes, for students, speakers of foreign language into the English skills at that time. So,
Mm-hmm.
so they switched me from class to class in the middle of the school year, and they assigned her to help me out, and a friendship developed, and eventually, we started going out and all that.
Oh, that's a really sweet story. Do you guys have any kids?
She does have. We did separate for a few years in between, so she has a kid, my stepson now.
Oh, I see. How old is the kid? What are they doing these days?
Well, he's 24, and he's still here in the house. He still lives with us.
Well, that's nice. What's his name?
Brian. Yeah, he takes care of the house when we are on vacation now, when we are traveling now.
Of course.
That's basically, yeah.
Oh.
Since now we are both traveling together, finally, she was allowed to work from the road, so...
Mm-hmm.
So, we kind of tested it out in the spring, a month and a half, and it worked out, so we're going to keep doing it.
All right, good stuff. You mentioned before that the pelican bit is from the Scarface movie. Could you give us your best Al Pacino impression from the movie?
Oh, money, look at the pelican fly, pelican fly.
Okay, very good.
That's pretty much it.
Oh, yeah, well, that's very good. Yeah, I know. I noticed he was actually looking at flamingos and not pelicans on the TV screen, right?
Yeah, I what I've read, I bought the DVD. Of course, I'm a fan of the movie and the Blu-ray and the outtakes. Apparently, he had lived that whole scene, and even though they knew that it was a flamingo, not a pelican, it was so funny, so well performed that they left it in. But that wasn't in the original script. He had lived that part.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's interesting backstory, too. Okay,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A Cuba question. What can you tell us about the indigenous Taino people of Cuba and their culture, food, and music?
Oh, I studied that in grade school back probably first or second grade. That's one of the first things they teach you in Cuban history, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those were the indigenous people. Actually, they're indigenous to eastern Cuba, what nowadays is Dominican Republic, and even Puerto Rico has some Taino. It was that, and it was probably one of the most advanced indigenous people of the Caribbean. They had agriculture and all that kind of thing. They actually made their own, houses, made out of wood and palm trees and whatnot. And I suppose the people in Western Cuba actually lived in caves. So this was the more advanced and they were for the most part naked, all the time. They didn't wear any clothes. And I imagine Christopher Columbus must have had a shock, when he arrived and saw this naked people.
Right? Do you think there are any of their descendants alive in today's world?
There's very few. They got exterminated pretty much by disease and by the Spaniards at the time, by the colonizers. But there in the eastern Cuba, you can still trace back to. There's no. I don't think there's anybody like of pure indigenous descent, but there are traces in the in the mix of races. Indigenous, European, Black, African, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
There's very few of them remaining. Yeah.
I know. Unfortunately, do you know anything about the Taino Zamis, their ancestral spirit deity?
I kind of recall something about that, but no, I don't. I don't recall much about their religion or deities. Not really.
Yeah. Okay. Have you heard of the Neo-Tainos in New York and the Taino activists in Florida?
No, I have not. I had no idea they were still. I know there are still. I'm probably in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. There are more Tainos left than in Cuba. But I didn't know. I didn't know about those movements.
Yeah, it's interesting because basically they are people that identify with that culture, and there's some of them that may even be directly related by a certain bloodline.
It would be great to revive that culture in some sense. It was a pretty rich culture. They had their games, they had their rituals and the religion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was mostly lost after the Spanish colonization.
Yeah, the conquistadors, right?
They try to make them all Catholic, and that's basically what happened.
I know, right? Yeah. Is there still a travel ban to Cuba for American citizens going on these days, and what are your views about that?
I'm sure there's still some loopholes where people can go, and to me, people should be allowed to go for the most part. It's a controversial issue among Cubans and all that, Mm-hmm. So some people say that we're helping the dictatorship and whatnot, and it becomes political real quick. So I'm going to be brief about this.
Yeah.
But I personally don't mind. We should be free to travel wherever we want.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, because Robert Kennedy tried to lift travel restrictions to Cuba in the early 60s, and also Obama more recently tried to relieve the travel restrictions. So, I don't know if that's
it's kind of going back and forth for 60 years,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. Next Florida question. What is your view about the sinkhole problem in Florida? Do you think that Florida may be sinking beneath the waves in the next 50 years or so?
Sinkhole, and I don't know. This a lot of the state was stolen from the Everglades or the ocean. So nature usually, tends to reclaim whatever we took from it, mm-hmm. And it is possible. There's sinkholes all the time, happening, especially in the area where I bought the property up there in Taylor County. Sometimes there was one in the middle of US 19 a couple of months ago. They filled it back up, and it's back to normal. But yeah, it could happen.
Oh man, hopefully not on Pelicamp. No, I don't want that to happen.
We are about 10 feet above sea level, so
that's good.
That's high for Florida. So.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, you're in a good level there.
Yeah.
Picking back up on the UFOs, describe the UFO that you said you saw in one of your photos from the Marfa Lights trip in Texas. Oh,
the Marfa. I didn't see it in person. I saw it on the footage, and at the beginning I thought it was like probably an airplane, and I'm moving that footage probably 20 times faster than it was in real life. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people had told me that may have been a UFO, and it could have been. It was just a light moving in the sky, and it kind of changed direction rather drastically and quickly. So it could have been. That's all that I saw. I didn't see it with my own eyes. It was just the camera on a time lapse.
Yeah, so it's in the video. So, what did it look like? What was its shape, and what sort of direction did it take?
It was it's just one light. It was going in a straight line, and then it made like a 45-degree, turn. And I don't know exactly which direction it was right now. I think it was coming towards the camera, towards where I was. But
oh my! Have you ever been to Area 51?
no, but I want to. I've been meaning to go, and I've been to the southern closest point where they have like a gas station with the Area 51 thing. But I want to go to the northern, as close as I can to the northern entrance there in Nevada. And I might do that this coming spring. And it depends where the travels take me. And the next time I go out west, I would love to get as close as I can. And
Cool.
And see what it is. Maybe spend the night nearby. See if I can see something in the night. There's that extraterrestrial highway that from where they say you can see a lot of stuff. So
Okay.
I would like to. Yeah.
All right. That's got to be an interesting adventure there waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think they do there, or has it been abandoned, you think, at Area 51?
Oh, no, I don't think it's been abandoned. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what they do there? No, but I mean, it will be hard to know. I mean, there's some secrets that not even the President of the United States knows about things that they do there. So, without let me put it that way. I won't believe anything unless I see it with my own eyes. Whatever they told me, whatever the government tells me that's going on there, it's so secretive.
Mm-hmm.
It's that maybe we have aliens there. Maybe it's just a secret military weaponry, or stuff that we'll see in live, like, technology we'll see come to light in 20, 30 years. Who knows?
Right. Well, it looks like the technology is sort of being eked out from somewhere, because it's like we get all this high technology in a quick manner. Because it's hard to believe that we're just developing normally at a regular pace.
Yeah, it seems like once in a while there's a huge breakthrough, like something like you go like, wow, look what we can do now, and then it kind of becomes iterative for another decade, and then there's something, like another breakthrough. So we'll see.
Yeah, right. And if you take a look at the technology that is being allowed to be released versus the technology that they're being secretive about, you can imagine what the secret must be if it's this high tech from what you can see, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the White Sands of New Mexico. You mentioned on your show that there were military installations nearby, thus prohibiting your drone flight. Do you think there could be some sort of secret UFO underground facility located there?
I'm not going to say yes or no. I know that, we are prohibited from flying drones now in so many places, but I definitely know that's when where they detonated the first nuclear bomb.
Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe there is, maybe there's not. We don't know. We don't know what they're not telling us. I'm pretty open-minded to all this stuff, but I'm that kind of person that if I don't see it, I'm kind of like skeptical. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Okay, what do you think about that weird building on 33 Thomas Street in New York City, formerly the AT&T Long Lines building that has no windows?
Oh, refresh my memory. I'm going to have to Google that now.
That's okay.
33, what is that?
It's 33 Thomas Street in New York City. Is formerly the AT&T Long Lines building. It has no windows. It's a very strange looking building.
I see. Interesting. It looks like it has some windows like on the top floor and like some floor in the middle, but nothing else.
Yeah, those are like vents, I think. They're not even windows somehow.
Yeah, that's odd. Yeah, I hadn't really seen it before, but that's very odd. They could have something in there that they don't want to be changed by the shift of day or night. Maybe there's some experiments going on in there. Maybe, because when you don't see the sun coming up or down, you kind of lose your sense of time after a while.
That's true.
So, yeah, you could food for thought there.
It's right in the middle of New York City. I mean, it's really in plain sight. It's just a very strange looking building.
Yeah. Those are some of those things are hiding in plain sight that you don't really notice them until you do.
Yeah.
It looks like they have a couple of large satellite dishes in the roof, But besides that, I'm looking at Google Images right now. Yeah.
I know you're.
No, next time I go to New York, now I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Have you ever visited any so-called haunted places?
I have. I can't remember right now, but I know I have visited haunted hotels. I think the last one was that hotel in Jerome, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
We had a drink at the Asylum. There is their bar, and they claim it's haunted. So that's the last time I was at a haunted place, actually.
Did you experience any paranormal phenomena while you were there?
Some of these places kind of give you the creeps, but besides that, nothing that I would say I saw a ghost or anything like that. No, not really.
Any cold spots or weird feelings, like you're being watched or anything like that?
Not that time around. No, not really. So sometimes these things, when you are not open to them, you don't really perceive them, so you don't recall that you perceive them. So that could be possible, but. No, not really.
Okay. I'll share an experience with you that I had just shortly. We went to the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, which is also supposed to be haunted, and there were cold spots in that place. I didn't see anything weird, it just felt creepy. And I think that's probably the more kind of haunted stuff that you're going to run into if you do have any actual haunted settings. It's going to be like, cold spots or just a weird feeling, and maybe objects might move, but I haven't personally experienced that either. Okay.
Yeah, there's just some places that they kind of give you a weird feeling. Sometimes when I go into like old churches, that happens to like in Europe, some of these old churches. Sometimes you go inside and it's like, you feel something. But...
Okay. Do you believe in good luck and bad luck? Are you superstitious?
I am, but I believe in good luck and bad luck. I'd say, but I think a lot of it also depends on your attitude. So sometimes if you have a negative attitude towards things, bad things happen, and you what is perceived as bad luck. So I think you have a little bit of a saying whether you in that. Whether you have good luck or bad luck, depending on your attitude towards things.
I see. So you're not like the normal superstitious person who is like afraid of black cats and broken mirrors and walking under a ladder and all that stuff.
Not necessarily. I actually number 13 and 17 are lucky numbers for me, and that's how I perceive them. So yeah, I'm superstitious, but usually like for positive things, and the number 17 has been in my life for many. Is that number that shows up in my life once in a while, and
17.
I'm kind of superstitious with things like that, but not with negative stuff. I've never been like into broken mirrors or black cats or ladders or anything like that. I'm like it's just a ladder.
It's just a ladder. Well, I think a lot of that superstitious stuff, it's old wives' tales, but it's also, some of it is common sense. I mean, if you walk under a ladder, especially if someone's on the ladder at the time, you could cause an accident. So it's a good idea not to walk under a ladder, basically.
Exactly. And it is possible that certain structures and certain, minerals, for example, it's supposedly pyramids. They have a certain, energy to them and certain shapes like that, and there might be something to it.
Yeah, pyramid power, yeah. I hear you there. All right, you have been up in the Superstition Mountains. Do you think those mountains are haunted?
Well, the Navajo, the Navajo people, they seem to think they are. I respect that a lot. But Apache, actually, the Apaches were the ones around there. But they certainly have a unique look, and I think that if you believe them to be superstitious, they will become superstitious to you.
Oh, I see. That's interesting. About the Lost Dutchman's gold mine, a lot of people don't know that it wasn't a Dutchman, it was a German. In the 1800s, they called Germans Deutschmen, and over time it was mutated into Dutchman. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where that
I see that happening. And I kind of saw the story of the lost Dutchman there and in Tortilla Flats. It's a fascinating area that I'm drawn to that area. Whenever I'm in Arizona.
Yeah, that emanates energy.
So there must be something to it.
Yeah.
That whole Superstition Mountain and the Apache Trail, I did as much as I could this last time I was there. And,
Yeah, I know, right?
That's a fascinating area.
Yeah, it's a rough traipsing up there. What kind of stuff did you notice when you were up that way in Tortilla Flats?
No, I mean, there's an odd feeling like you're like you are in a little bit of a different world when you are in that area. But I can't put my finger on it, to be honest.
Maybe just like a weird energy emanating from
could
the
be
place.
and certain people, locals for lack of a better word, that seemed I'm not gonna say odd, but different in a certain way in their demeanor.
That stands out. Yeah. Okay. Did you meet up with any Native Americans while traveling out west?
I have not lately. No, not since. I'm trying to think. Probably when we went to Monuments Valley back in 2014. That was the last time we actually interacted with a Navajo gentleman. But and we didn't speak all that much. He was the tour guide, and we spoke but no, not really. No, I haven't met many Native Americans like that. No.
Oh, yeah. They are a little hard to find out here because, a lot of them are on the reservation, and you'd have to actually travel probably out toward the reservation area in order to actually meet up with any of the real tribes people up there.
I mean, Navajo Nation is almost half of Arizona. It's a huge area, so
that's true.
It wouldn't be hard. It wouldn't be hard, but I guess you would have to go into town and actually make an effort to mingle.
Right. Okay, a couple of esoteric questions. All right, get your space helmet on. No, I was kidding. What do you think happens to people when they die?
Ooh, that esoteric question. I want to think that we keep on living as a spirit, and another part of me thinks it's just an off button, but we'll find out someday, right?
Yeah. Do you think there's consciousness after death?
Yes. I do believe we are all part of the same consciousness, which most people call God. But since we don't remember the previous lives or the previous consciousness, I believe that this particular life that I'm living right now will eventually end. And that other consciousness may or may not remember it or care about it. But I've seen enough evidence to think that we're all connected somehow. So there's got to be something, a larger consciousness we're a part of. That's what I believe.
Well, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, as Einstein said.
Exactly.
It's very possible that you might even be traveling again sometime after this incarnation, right?
I would love to see different worlds. Maybe travel to Alpha Centauri or someplace like that.
All right, cool. When you were hiking up in Angel's Landing, did you have a fear of falling 5,000 feet?
Absolutely, yes. Very few times in my life I've been more afraid, but that's what made it such a unique experience.
Yeah, that was a very intense video to watch, actually, and that was just the trip up, right?
Yeah, it was intense, and the way down was intense too. And
yeah, it was obviously more treacherous. Can you describe what it was like?
Well, it's like it's the same as less difficult than the way up in the sense that you're going down, so you're not climbing. And at one point on the way up, I was really exhausted. I had to stop. I drank a whole bottle of water, and I had to rest for 10 minutes before keeping on going because it was very stressful that way. But the way down is more about facing your fear of heights. It's easier on your muscles, but you're looking down all the time, and you realize you're every second reminded that you are several thousand feet above the valley, and a step in the wrong direction could could be fatal.
Oh, I know, right?
It's like a thrill ride without all the safeties that you have on a thrill ride, that kind of thing.
Yep, quite an adventure, and you have to test your bravery and try to hang in there. But you made it, man. I mean, you made it. Come on now.
Yeah, no, and it takes a lot of concentration. You have to concentrate and make sure you don't make a misstep, and it really makes you appreciate your life in a sense. I often say I've never felt so alive as at that moment when I was risking my life. So,
yeah, you're coming to grips with it. That's true. Okay, why do you think truckers have an attitude toward RVers?
We take their spaces at the rest area, and I don't know. Some of them do, a lot of them don't, to be honest. But yeah, there's got to be a little bit of a rivalry there. They're having to drive cross country for work. We're doing it for pleasure, and we take their spaces at the truck stops and the rest areas. I mean, I suppose. There's a little bit of that, but I've met many truckers who are very nice people, and there's some truckers are RVers too. I have a friend he's a trucker, and then he tows his RV with his semi. He has a fifth wheel that he tows with the truck. So it's there's a lot of overlap there, and I don't think that most of them have a bad attitude towards RVers. It's just a few.
It's just a few. Yeah, there's a couple of kookaboos out there, like the one. You don't want to end up like the guy in, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Duel, where the guy is in the car and he gets stuck behind a trucker and the trucker won't let him pass, and like they keep going for a long. You ever see that movie?
No, I haven't seen that movie, but
that would be a nightmare. Yeah. You don't want to do that. Okay. When there are no rest areas in sight, were there any embarrassing moments while you were answering nature's call at the side of the road?
No, actually, no, it hasn't happened. Luckily, I travel with an RV, so I can pull out on the side of the road. Sometimes it says emergency stopping only, but if that's an emergency. That qualifies as an emergency.
Yeah.
So you pull up on the side of the road there, and you go back to the RV and do your business.
But you didn't have any embarrassing moments where anyone rolled up on you or anything like that?
No, not really. No.
Oh, that's good. That's
not yet.
Lucky. Okay. Do you ever have trouble with dumping sewage from the RV when there are no dump stations nearby, and what do you do about it?
There are always dump stations. It's most RV parks. Maybe there's not a free dump station, but there are always dump stations. And
that's good.
Particularly, I have decently sized tanks, so I haven't had an issue with that. To be honest, there's always something within an hour drive. There's a dump station. Okay,
good to hear. When you clean the latrine, what is the best disinfectant that you can recommend for RVers?
Well, I clean it with there's a product called Unique something or another. I think it's Unique. It's supposed to be environmentally friendly, and it's good for the septic systems. So that's what I use.
Okay. What do you do about bugs in the RV, like tsetse flies or possible scorpions, spiders, etc.?
I have a fly swatter that someone gave me. That's what I've been using lately. But other than that, I haven't had a scorpion or anything like that, or mice or anything like that.
Spiders?
In the RV.
No spiders?
No, I've had them outside, but they never managed to come inside. So.
Oh, that's good. Okay. How about any problems with snakes, like desert or mountain rattlesnakes?
I saw a rattlesnake in Laguna Beach, California. That was in the middle of the city, so it wasn't even like in the desert. But I've seen some like black little snakes in my property in North Florida and stuff like that. But I've been lucky, I guess. I've been lucky. I've never really encountered a big bear or a snake or any dangerous wildlife like that.
Wow, you're really lucky. You're traveling as much as you do, and you're not having to deal with that kind of problem.
Yeah.
Ever seen a skunk or been sprayed by a skunk?
No, I haven't. No. I've been a city boy most of my life, so I just started doing this recently. So, probably the odds are against me that I will at some point.
Okay. So, Robert, what do skunks say on Sunday?
I don't know. You tell me. I have no idea.
Let us spray.
Let us pray. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, that was good.
Yeah, a little joke for you. Have you ever hit any small animals crossing on the road while you're traveling at high speeds?
Well, yes, I have. Unfortunately, I've hit a couple of squirrels here and there. And I hit a bird once in North Dakota.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh well, I guess
No, nothing big. I have never hit a deer or any larger animals, but
didn't hit any bison or anything like that.
No.
Oh, you'd hear about it if you hit a bison, man. It would be like
I'll get banned from the national parks. That would be bad.
Yeah, that would be. Okay, what about Bigfoot? Do you think there are real Bigfoots out there?
There might be. When so many people talk about it, there's gotta be something to it. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of, maybe it's like a prehistoric creature, like a prehistoric primate or something like that. But yeah, there could be a species that we haven't discovered yet that that, or maybe it's something they don't want us to know about. But when so many people talk about it, maybe there's something to it.
And the mountain yetis, like snow monsters, do they exist?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't want to say no because I don't know.
Just speculation. Speculation.
As I said, I'm open-minded to all those things, and there might be something out there in the. I mean, when you go outside in the country, you see how much wilderness is out there.
Oh yes.
How many places that very few people have explored. Hundreds of and thousands of acres of forest in the mountains that are virtually unexplored. You don't know what's out there.
Did you see any or smell any of them during your travels?
No.
Okay. All right. Last time I asked you about what bears might be thinking. Now that you've had some time to reflect, do you have any ideas about what the bears might think when they encounter you?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
Oh.
They might be thinking, who is this dude with that contraption with the lens? They're taking video of me,
Okay. Now, as long as they're not thinking, boy, that's a tasty morsel, then you're good.
Nah, right? I hope they don't think of me as food. Yeah.
Right. Okay. While riding in your RV, you are accelerating. Do you think acceleration has an effect on your metabolism over long periods of time?
I don't know, but I love doing it. I love the feeling of moving on a highway. I don't know if accelerating or just keeping the speed, but there's something that puts me in a good mood. It's exhilarating, yep.
Yeah, well, astronauts on the space station have to deal with living in zero G and being in acceleration. So I'm just wondering if the same thing applies here on Earth.
It might. The thing with the astronauts, I don't think they really realize how fast they are going or how. But of course, they do when they are, going up. Those G forces. I mean, in the end, it's a similar force to gravity in the way you perceive it, right? And that in a sense, that's why they perceive as zero G or weightlessness, because the centrifugal force is the same as the gravitational force, so they cancel each other out.
There you go. All right, well said. When boondocking out in the desert away from city lights, what does the night sky look like?
Oh, so many stars, and unfortunately, I don't have the visual acuity I had 20 years ago, so I can't see it as good as I used to, as sharp as I used to. But it's almost intimidating. It's almost an intimidating experience to realize the depth of the sky and how many stars and planets are up there.
Yeah, and you're just one point in light to someone else watching from one of those stars.
You feel kind of small. Yeah, you feel kind of small looking up there.
All right. If your RV was a time machine and you could travel to any point in history, where would you go and what would you do?
Any point in history? Are you talking future, past, or I guess it will be... Well, the future is uncertain. I wouldn't mind going 100 years in the future, see what's going on Earth. See, period of history I'm not going to be able to experience.
Yeah, well, I would prefer to go in the future myself because there's obviously going to be a lot of changes. It would be really interesting to see what sort of changes took place in that amount of time, right?
Yeah, and it's very unpredictable. You look at science fiction from 20, 30 years ago, and nobody could have predicted the cell phone. And, and the people, everybody was into flying cars. I haven't seen them yet. So our predictions of the future sometimes are very flawed. And it will be cool to see what humanity comes up with. We don't destroy ourselves first.
Yeah. Right. That fingers crossed. Yeah, the flying car thing would be a little problematical, I think. You don't want to have to look left and right and up, right?
But this is the thing, we're closer than ever because there's a development that nobody predicted either, like 10, 15, 20 years ago, and that's the drone, which is a machine that can practically fly itself. If you can come up with a drone that can hover on the air safely and be able to carry at least the weight of one person for a period of time, the technology is there. The technology is there as and they're only going to get better. So,
how about the 360 camera
I'm
too?
Optimistic on the 360 camera. Yeah, 360. Yeah, that's the artificial intelligence that we're seeing in all these cameras and many things, many things. Which is, it's not intelligent. It's because it is not intelligent, but it is capable of performing certain calculations, like my 360 camera has these two lenses, and the software automatically figures out when one lens ends, and makes it seamless. And imaging, it's the last 10 years have been a fun ride to see the advancements in imaging.
Oh yeah, and AI too.
That kind of thing.
Yep.
AI, yeah. Siri. Well, the first time I used Siri, I was like, yeah, this is the future, and it's gotten so much better, and things. Siri came out in probably 2009, 2010. It's been like 10 years, 10, 12 years since we've been able to talk to our computers.
Yeah, I know, it's really interesting. All right, if you were a billionaire, tax-free, where would you go and what would you do?
Billionaire.
Yep, a billionaire, Robert.
I don't know. It's a part of me wants to go to space and pay what's his name, Branson, the one with Virgin Galactic. But I don't know. That might be a waste of fuel, and I don't know. I'll just.
Well, you mean like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos? You want to be like those guys?
Jeff Bezos and the other guy that has the Virgin Galactic, Richard Branson. But yeah, that might be a part of it. But you know what? I recently I flew with a friend who owns a plane, and I would, if I was a billionaire, I would just hire a pilot with my own plane and just travel around the world like that, or my own boat, like a yacht, like the Queen of England, that kind of thing.
All right, traveling in style. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think the melting of the polar ice caps has any effect on the weather and local ecosystems in the United States?
Well, it has to. It has to have some. Not in the United States, in the whole world. It's in constant evolution. The caps are going to melt, and they're going to refreeze probably 500 years from now. Humans may have a little bit of guilt on that, but I think that the planet in the end will survive. I mean, Florida might be underwater, and
it'll be an island,
and Baja California might be an island, but we're still going to be here.
Okay.
Yeah, that definitely, and it's so hard to predict. That's one of the things. The weather is so hard to predict.
Oh,
and,
yes.
There's so many forces, so many currents, so many different temperatures at different levels in the atmosphere in play. It's a fascinating science, meteorology.
Yeah, I know, and I personally think that there might be a little bit less to do with the actual man-made pollution problem that has to do with the climate change, and the planet really is way more powerful and way more, it's going to do what it does. And I mean, it's been, 5,000 years or, whatever, how many years it's been, and it's like kind of long overdue for a big climate change. So, and you got your polar shift and your solar flares, and, you got all kinds of factors like that. So, yes.
Yeah, it's never stayed the same, like for long periods of time. So, yeah, it's
Yeah, I was watching a documentary recently that was actually talking about how the Earth, how we have the seasons and how we have everything, kind of calm with the weather and everything, and the climate is rare. And actually, in Earth's history, it's been way more chaotic and way more erratic and more unpredictable. So we're actually in one of the rare moments in Earth's history right now.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a time when there were volcanoes going, up, all the time, more volcanoes and earthquakes and tsunamis, and so we'll see what happens. And
I'll be watching for interesting times. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Speaking of pelicans again, did you notice the pelican truck in the Fritz the Cat movie? The part where Fritz was stranded in the Arizona desert with saguaro cactuses.
What movie was that?
Fritz the Cat. It's a movie.
No, I never watched that movie.
Oh, there's a part in there where there's a mention of a truck with the name Pelican on it, and it's in the Arizona desert.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it.
So, one of Bakshi's movies. I don't know if you know about Bakshi, the director.
No,
okay.
I have to look that up.
That's okay. Hey, it's all new. It's cool. All right. Does the term Pelican Head have anything to do with the Scarface fandom?
I think, and I didn't come up with it, by the way. It was someone in my group. I believe it was either Alex. Someone in the group came up with the term Pelican Head. Mm-hmm. Of course, it has to do with the movie because I started, saying that fly pelican, and then every other video. So I became the chief Pelican Head, and I think it comes also from Jimmy Buffett's, parrot heads. So if Jimmy Buffett had the parrot head, I was going to have the Pelican Head. So, and that's where it came from. Probably, I don't know, 4 years ago. Maybe three, yeah, around there.
Okay.
After I started doing this full time, that's when all those things came to fruition.
Yeah, the Pelican Head fandom has grown since, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. I feel very, very, very privileged to be able to do this, and all the people that enjoy it.
Yeah, well, you do a fantastic job and totally deserve everything that you're receiving.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. What do you think about house pelicans versus field pelicans? That's pelicans that hang around people and eat scraps and junk food that people feed them, versus the field pelicans that follow the weather and waterways to find where the fish are, such as the outback in Australia.
Well, I think for animals, it's always better to be in their wild, natural habitat, and where they're, doing what they do, what pelicans do. Now, it's impossible to avoid, pelicans' interaction with people, with society. And, when people fish, the pelicans that is an easy catch, and they eat the scraps. That's what they do. And they're always hanging around people who fish. In my mind, I would think it would be better for them to have, to just in case, they might forget how to fish and just live off humans.
Right.
And that would be bad. That would be bad for them, because if they forget to fish, they forget to teach their little pelicans to fish, and before you know it, it becomes unless it is something in by instinct, that if we cease to feed them, they'll go back to the ocean and feed themselves. I don't know how that works. I know for many, in many areas, they tell you not to feed the wildlife because they'll become accustomed to that. And, in the case of the pelicans, I don't think it's as harmful as in the case of a bear, for example. But,
right.
But I think pelicans have probably been interacting with humans since humans learned how to fish. So it's probably at this point it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, that's probably true. The field pelicans that follow the weather and the waterways to find where the fish are, they're like in the outback in Australia. There is actually, I guess, a species of pelican. They don't want to eat scraps and junk food. They want to actually go way out of their... I'm talking about migrating here to go and find the fish, that when the rains come down in the seasonal way, because it's not usually, it's usually a desert out there in the outback, so water fills up and they come out.
I think, I'm talking out of my anecdotal experience here, but I think white pelicans are kind of like that too, because I've seen them in the Everglades, in Florida Bay there, just, away from humans in their colony, and there's like one island that they have in the 10,000 Islands region of Florida, and they're snowbirds. They go back north in the summer, and I've seen them in the up north too. I don't know if it was in Michigan, somewhere up there. So those may be also kind of feral like that, not used to humans.
Do they call that Pelican Island, where all the pelicans are?
I believe so. Yeah, actually.
Oh, really?
I took that cruise many years ago. It was probably on our first year RVing. We did a lot of places in South Florida, and I do believe they call it Pelican Island. Yeah.
Oh.
It's right there of Everglades City. It's one of the first islands you encounter.
Oh, wow.
And it was full. The whole island was full of white pelicans. And I've also seen him off the coast in Flamingo, which is kind of like the southernmost point in mainland Florida. Without counting the Keys, down there, I saw him, and it was an island too, so they may like being, away from the mainland.
Okay. Do you take your wanderlust seriously, or can you laugh at it?
I laugh at pretty much everything. It's I take it. It's just I don't know how to answer that, to be honest about it. But yeah, no, I don't take it too seriously. I just sometimes just go with the flow and enjoy what happens, and what happens, and we'll laugh about it afterwards.
Okay, that's a great attitude to have there. Being a successful self-made YouTuber and entrepreneur, what is the single most important piece of marketing advice you have for those in your field?
There's no substitute for work.
Okay.
And besides that, consistency, put out the best work you can, and good thumbnails. Good thumbnails. I cannot stress enough how important thumbnails are. Yeah,
I know. You look like you work on everything, from thumbnails to videos to all your presentations. It's spot on. Can you sing the Free in My RV theme a cappella for us?
I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV.
All right. Very good.
Thank you.
By the way, what kind of sound does a pelican make?
Oh man.
Best guess.
I don't think they make much of a sound. They go like right, like a growling sound.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like a yelling person kind of. That's what I think I've heard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you hear something all the time, and it's hard to describe it.
Okay, I would like to sing you a little song right now. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, the cow goes moo, the dog goes woof, the cat goes meow, the bird goes tweet, the pig goes oink, the lion goes roar, and that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, say, I've got an idea. Let's sing the song together, okay?
Okay.
Now, this time, I'll sing the name of the animal, and you sing what the animal says, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now this is what we'll do. When we get to the lion, you say roar, real loud. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3.
Roar.
Oh, you can do better than that. Come on, let's try it again. 1, 2, 3.
Roar.
Very good.
I feel like Simba in the Lion King movie now.
Okay, here we go. Oh, the cow goes moo, the dog goes woof, the cat goes meow, the bird goes tweet, the pig goes oink, the lion goes
wow,
and the pelican goes. Give me your best pelican squawk. And that's the way it goes. Okay, that's about it for that one. All right. What do you think of the phrase from Ringo Starr's song, "Don't go where the road don't go"? Never heard that song?
I have, but no, I don't know.
Well, you remember that time when you were on Route 66 and you actually went where the road don't go? So, what do you...
Oh, yeah, that one time, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that happened to me a couple of times, actually.
Oh, really? Like, what other times were there?
I know it's happened before. I went to, then I have to do one of these fancy, like, backups with the trailer, and so... It happened recently. My memory is not what it used to be, and I can't remember exactly when it happened. When it was.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I was just asking what you were thinking of the phrase there, because "don't go where the road don't go."
No, yeah, it's not not. I mean, you can go off road sometimes, but.
Okay. Legend has it that Jimi Hendrix wrote some graffiti in the lava river caves near Flagstaff, Arizona. Do you have any plans to visit the lava caves?
Lava caves in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Yes.
I don't have any immediate plans, but eventually I want to visit every point of interest in Arizona, at least the major ones. So, so at some point, it's not. I don't have any definite plans for that right now.
Okay. Did you ever check out the Painted Desert located on the Navajo Indian Reservation north of Flagstaff?
Not yet. I drove from Flagstaff to the Grand Canyon, but I haven't really gone to that part. I was going to last year when I was in Sedona. We went up to Flagstaff and all that, but it's there's so much to see that. Eventually, hopefully this year. I'm going back to Arizona next. In January. So.
Okay.
I might visit. Yeah, I wanna do Arizona and then go north, like into Utah, Nevada, see a little bit of that.
What about the Sunset Crater east of Flagstaff?
Well, I've been to the crater. It was interesting. I didn't think it was like. I think it's overrated in my opinion, but it was cool to see.
Okay. What's the most positive, uplifting message that you have for all the Traveling Robert viewers and listeners out there?
Uplifting? Just go out and travel. I mean, just do it.
Okay. By the way, do you remember a band called Devo from the 80s?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact, yeah.
I recently did an audio interview with Jerry Casale, the songwriter and bass player for Devo. Did you get a chance to check it out yet?
I listened to the beginning, but no, I haven't. It's been a very busy week because I'm living on what am I living Saturday? So
my goodness.
I'm leaving Saturday, and I'm trying to get like all the episodes for the spring road trip edited, and I am doing a new intro, new outro. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy week.
Busy.
Actually, I'm sure I'm taking a break just here, just talking to you.
What do you think of Devo and all that 80s music?
I like it. I like that style. I kind of grew up with a little bit of that. I was more into like the late 80s stuff, but I like, actually, I saw them live. It must have been a little over 10 years ago. They did the opening for the Macworld Expo 2008, and I saw them live for the only time I've seen them live. So yeah. Wow,
cool. Yeah, well, you got to tune in toward the end of that Jerry Casale interview, because I did give, as I told you, honorable mention to the Traveling Robert Free in My RV show. So.
Well, I have a 20-hour drive coming up to Pennsylvania, so I'm sure I'll have plenty of time to listen to it on the road.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for another great interview, and we'll be seeing you.
No, you're welcome.
We'll be seeing you on the road.
I'll see you on the road, Leila. Thank you for the interview.
Okay, thank you. You have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
¡Eso, Santaneca! ¡Ven allá! ¡Anda! Mi Santana, Santana mía, yo no te olvido ni un solo día. como prueba de mi ternura, yo te regalo mi melodía, que siendo mía es toda tuya, como tu tierra que siendo tuya, tú me la diste en aquel día pa' que naciera y fuera mía. Mi Santana, Santana mía, tierra querida, yo no te olvido ni un solo día. Rico, mamá.
Cosmic Layla here. That was part 2 with Traveling Robert, and he sure had some interesting insights about life on the road as an RVer. Tune in next week on What's Happening with the Cosmiks.